In memory of Sanya Kota, I request you all to please stand up and observe a minute's silence. Thank you. Please be seated. Never would have one imagined the day when a boy who walked into this very venue, the Kala Academy, to learn music would one day have a concert of his own students. It all started with a simple dream. But who planted the seed for this dream? What was this dream about? Who helped materialize this dream? Was it fulfilled or not? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm much honored that I have been given the opportunity to tell you this lovely story. So switch off your electronic devices and help me unfold all the answers to these questions for you today. I, Arulda de Souza, welcome you all to the debut concert of the students of First Note Foundation. We have a hugely exciting hour planned for you. You are going to witness the students' orchestra consisting of 14 young and very talented musicians who are being supported by 5 very experienced and highly qualified musicians. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the students' orchestra. In the first violin section, we have Sara Fernandes, Olencia Fernandes, Eesha Fernandes, Myron de Mello, Leroy Monteiro, and Leanne Monteiro. In the second violin section, we have Greg de Souza, Caroline de Souza, Neil Couto, Nandita Couto, Sam Pereira, Nefra Pereira, and Aloysius Sequeira. On the keyboard we have Ethan Fernandes. And on the cello we have Vasco Dias. Vasco Dias is an electronics engineer by profession, but music has always been his passion. Vasco has played with several orchestras within the state, country, and internationally as well. Leo Velio. He has been playing the cello for the last 10 years. Leo is a student of Mrs. Teresa Figueredo. He is appearing for the Associate Diploma exam from Trinity College for the cello this month. He also plays the flute. Leo has been a part of many orchestras all over India. He is pursuing law at Salgaonkar College of Law. On the viola we have Akash Srinivasan. Akash has learned both the violin and the viola under Mrs. Gorati Pinero for over 10 years and has completed his associate diploma from Trinity College for the violin. He has also completed his bachelor's in chemical engineering. Akash trains students for the violin and the viola and is based in Donapola. Sienna Maria Fernandes. Sienna started playing the violin at the age of 13 in Bahrain. After completing her schooling there, she moved to Goa where she continued studying the violin under Ashley Rigo and Myra Shroff. She is currently the student of Firoz Mistry. In June 2016, she took up the viola and has recently attained her associate diploma from Trinity College for the viola. Besides teaching, Sienna has played the violin and the viola for the Goa String Orchestra and Chamber Orchestra of Goa. She has performed for the Indo-German Confluence Orchestra and Paschim Rang Festival Orchestra conducted by Professor Ulf Klausenitzer and the Bangalore City Chamber Orchestra conducted by Joris Dekolvenier. Sienna is a part of the Talent Education Association of India and conducts monthly Suzuki workshops. She has attended master classes with Professor Ulf Klausenitzer, Sanya Kota, Joris Dekolvenier, and Claire Raybould. And on the bass guitar we have Jeshurun de Cruz. He has been playing music for the last 25 years and teaching for the last 15 years. He is a multi-instrumentalist and has played with multiple bands and orchestras in Goa and India. The bass is the newest instrument he is learning. He also has been into music production for the last 12 years and works as a session musician, composer, arranger, and mixing engineer. And now we welcome Emilio Pereira, the man behind today's orchestra. Emilio has studied music in Kala Academy's Western Music Department. God gave him a group of very talented teachers. His violin teacher in Kala Academy was Mrs. Anita D'Souza, one of the best and most respected violin teachers in Goa. He excelled as a student in Kala Academy, cleared the 8th grade certificate of Trinity College for the violin under the guidance of Mrs. Anita D'Souza. He has also played for many orchestras in Goa and other parts of India. Emilio holds a master's degree in computer application from the Pune University. He has worked for 5 years as a software engineer in an American company called Accenture before he finally decided to become a music tutor in 2012. It is great to see all of you here today. Let us begin this journey together and understand how a simple dream can turn into a force that contributes goodness to this society and helps fulfill more dreams. All this began when Emilio was studying in the junior KG at the Don Bosco High School, PANJIM. His class teacher, Mrs. Zuzat, selected him to represent their division for the school's English singing competition. She taught him the song Billy Boy. Mrs. Zuzat showed faith in Emilio's singing ability, and he didn't disappoint her. He won the first prize for this competition. Emilio came home that afternoon and told everyone that he sang in a pipe and won a prize. Mrs. Zuzat planted the seed of a dream which influenced Emilio's parents, Mr. D.V. Pereira and Mrs. Maria Fatima Pereira, to pursue it. A simple dream that Emilio learns to play a musical instrument, and this very spark, which was provided by Mrs. Zuzat, ignited a small fire. This brings us to the first performance of today's concert. Master Greg D'Souza, the youngest member of the orchestra, is going to play the song, Ignite, by Norwegian music producer and songwriter K391, featuring DJ Alan Walker, Julie Bergan, and Sengri. Carnival of the Animals is a humorous musical suite of 14 movements by the French romantic composer Camille Saint-Saëns. The work was written for a private performance by an ad hoc ensemble of 2 pianos and other instruments. This is the only movement that the composer allowed to be played in public during his lifetime, because he thought the remaining movements were too frivolous and would damage his reputation as a serious composer. Only after knowing that, we have Camille Saint-Saëns' permission to play this song in public. And after lots of negotiation, Leanne Monteiro has finally agreed to pamper your ears with this lovely piece. When my brother was in the first standard, the teacher asked all the children to make Mother's Day cards. My brother's card read, "Happy Mother's Day, dear Mommy. May I have many wonderful mothers like you." We now continue our performance with Neil Couto performing Sing Me to Sleep by Norwegian DJ Alan Walker. Please keep your eyes open and listen to this piece. back to our story. The next significant contributor to the success of Emilio's parents' dream was late Reverend Father Maestro Lourdino Barreto. Father was just another son of Galjiba Kankon. He loved Goa and Goan music, and over the years he composed and arranged Goan music with perfection that lifted this ethnic music from its roots and made it a spreading tree reaching out internationally. Besides composing for the Konkani language, he also composed or arranged for other languages in Hindi, Sanskrit, English, Italian, Latin, and Portuguese. His ventures into Indian classical music were also extensive. His compositions were based on various ragas, the most flamboyant being the Rag Kalyan, performed in 1996 with a 50-piece ensemble consisting of sitars, tablas, tanpuras, strings, and 2 pianos. It was fusion at its best. If I were to enumerate all his compositions and arrangements, this speech would take another 30 minutes. Father Lourdin was awarded the title for the best musicologist east of Suez at the World Congress of Choir Conductors. But while his works were played with too much acclaim in America and Europe, they did not make a hit in Goa, mainly because the music was far above the standard of our musicians and singers here. In October 1990, he took the Goa Philharmonic Choir to a singing tour to Mangalore, Calicut, Cochin, Nagercoil, Thiruvananthapuram, Velankani, Chennai, and Bangalore in preparation for the May 1991 tour to European cities of Vatican, Lourdes, Fatima, Lisbon, and London. The main focus was to sing for the Grand Mass at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican, held annually on the first Sunday in May and televised globally. This was a huge achievement considering this choir came from a third world country then. The choir gave the congregation goosebumps with Father's arrangement of Jesu Mojadeva, Vedi Chair, and made heads turn at the Pater Noster. It was a historic trip, as this was the first time hymns in our Konkani was sung by St. Peter's in Vatican, at Lourdes, and at Fatima. Goa Philharmonic Choir had also performed a very complicated and difficult composition by Leonard Bernstein called Chester Psalms. The lyrics were in original Hebrew, and when Emilio was 9, Father had selected him to be one of the youngest soloists in the choir, and it was sung in Hebrew. But all Emilio can remember now is the word Adonai. Father had a good neck to spot talent, and he gave personal attention to Emilio's music development. Emilio says that he remembers the love he received from Father Lourdin. While Father trained him, Father would call him names like Ganjil, Borod, Bikun, Zollo. Emilio wishes he had got many more years under Father Lourdin, in which he would have possibly learned Father's style of composing and arranging. May his soul rest in peace. Now we have Jolenta de Souza playing for you a little piece about a kitten called Ballade pour Mimi by Fabienne Roussel. Night was written by Jerome Kern with lyrics by Dorothy Fields. It was first brought to the spotlight by Fred Astaire in the 1936 hit movie Swing Time. This won the Oscar for the Best Original Song. This brilliant composition was quickly adapted by jazz musicians and has been known as a jazz standard for many years. Now, we have Nandita Couto going to make you sway to this romantic song. It's a wonderful experience to see students mature and grow. They come in as very young kids, and it's really amazing and fulfilling to see the development that has occurred. Through this concert, they have got a chance to show what progress they have made throughout these years. We now have Eesha Fernandes, who is going to perform 1,000 Years by American singer Christina Perri. It is a soundtrack from the movie The Twilight Saga, Breaking Down Part 1. Believer is a song by American rock band Imagine Dragon. Throughout his life, Imagine Dragons frontman Dan Reynolds has struggled with depression and anxiety issues. Through this song, he explains the adversity truly is what helps you become a believer in yourself. This orchestra has also faced many issues, but they have overcome every problem to finally be on stage and perform in front of you today. Aloysius Sequeira is going to play the cover version of this song performed by Simply 3. Simply 3 is a bass, cello, violin trio that performs chamber music covers of popular music. Habour is a 2001 film that presented a heavily fictionalized version of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Brothers and Tennessee are two soundtracks from this movie composed by the legendary Hans Zimmer. We now present to you the junior strings who, along with the orchestra, are going to play these two soul-touching songs.
Told you all about my story. Now comes the answer to the important question, that is, who helped fulfill this dream? They are none other than my teachers who are present here today. For me, a good teacher is a teacher that doesn't care about their popularity, neither their friendship, and they sternly tell us what is good for us. This is what defines my teachers, and that is why I am here today. What our parents can do at home for us as children, and what they can't do for us as our parents, that gap is filled by our teachers. And I was very lucky to have teacher Anita D'Souza. I called her my second mother for the previous concert that I had, and since then she's pulling my leg and she's calling me her third son. And I would like to felicitate my teachers today. Teacher Anita D'Souza, please come on stage. Teacher Teresa Figueiredo. Teacher Goretti is not present with us here today. She had gone for a holiday to Kashmir. Next, I would like to have Teacher Juliana Dasa. Next, I would like to felicitate Teacher Myra Shroff. Ma'am, you be seated there. I'm coming down. Okay, next is Holland was.
I really do not know whether I deserve this because Emilio has never been a violin student on me. I don't teach the violin, but he has never been my violin student. But Emilio, thanks very much.
So as being too modest, he has taught me one of the most important skills, that's to sing notes, solfeggio. And that has helped me to learn the violin even better. Next, I would like to call upon Sir Adrian Barreto, who has been clicking all throughout the first half. Teacher Mona Gonsalves. Teacher Duraraj, please come up.
On the eve of Easter this year, we got the shocking news that Sanya Cotta, a Goan violin prodigy, had passed away in Belgium. She was the dear friend of Emilio and our guest musicians, a source of inspiration to many of us in Goa. We will all miss her a lot. Our next song, I Miss You, is dedicated to Sanya. This song is sung by South Korean singer Soyu from a South Korean drama called Goblin and will be performed by Caroline D'Souza. the two sisters, Sarah and Olyncia Fernandes, will play for you Way Back Into Love, a pop song written by Adam from the 2007 film Music and Lyrics. There are two versions, a demo version sung by Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore, and the final version sung by Hugh Grant and Haley Bennett. It was used as the love theme in the film, much of whose plot revolves around the writing and arranging of the song. A married man takes his girlfriend on a date. In a playful and romantic conversation in the restaurant, he says to her, "Let me hear words that will increase my heartbeat." And she said, "Your wife is sitting behind us." Now, for those who want to increase their heartbeats, we would definitely not want you to take such a grave risk. Instead, we have Myron DeMello performing a fast-paced song called Unsafe Haven, which is an original song by the strings trio Simple 3. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who is strong, smarter, prettier, or richer. The only thing that matters is whether you are happy or not. Roger Rodriguez and Ruben Fernandes are now going to perform a keyboard duet called Happiness Inside by Kusuma Riandi.
Please give them a huge round of applause. These guys are only 4 or 5 months they have been learning, and they have heard a lot of shouting and yelling from me, and they were very nervous, but finally they manned up. Come, take a bow. Both bow together. Roger had even colored his hair for the concert. While the happiness is still inside you, I want to complete my teacher's felicitation. That is teacher Luella. Is she present? Teacher Luella? Okay, then I didn't miss anything then. Thank you.
Now we have something different for you. Ethan Fernandes will play a very pensive keyboard piece called Childhood Memories by Damien Pupa Twasser. This song will send you down the memory lane, and for those born before the 70s, it will bring back past memories of our beautiful Goa. This was an amazing performance indeed. I'm so glad you all could be here and enjoy everything we've seen and heard so far. There's still a little bit more to come. Fly Me to the Moon is a song written in 1954 by Bart Howard. However, Frank Sinatra's 1964 version popularized this song. Leroy Monteiro will fly you to the moon with his performance. Now the orchestra is going to perform nostalgic songs from our Goan culture. Having a concert without including Goan music would be like preparing a dish without seasoning. We're going to begin with Molbailo Do, followed by Tu Moje Suk, and end with Kazarache Utor. Please feel free to sing along. an exciting selection for you right now. He's a Pirate, a track composed by Klaus Badel and Hans Zimmer for the 2003 Disney film Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. It will be performed by Sam Pereira and Nefra Pereira. Please make some noise for the First Note Foundation Students Orchestra. And now it is time to recognize and reward the students for their hard work and dedication over the years. As Martha Graham said, practice is a means of inviting the perfection desired. And I'm sure you all agree to this, that the students have done just that. Please give them a big hand. I would like to invite Mrs. Anita D'Souza to give away our tokens of appreciation to all the students. Sarah Abigail Fernandes. Olencia Giselle Fernandes. Eesha Fernandes. Myron DeMello. Leanne Monteiro. Leroy Monteiro. Greg D'Souza. Caroline D'Souza. Sam Pereira. Nefra Pereira. Nandita Couto. Neil Couto. Aloysius Sequeira. And Ethan Fernandes. The following certificates of participation are given to our enthusiastic, hardworking, and committed junior string and junior keyboard students. Jolenta D'Souza. Roger Rodriguez. Ruben Fernandes. Sergio Pereira. Joshua Gonsalves. Prerna Kerkar. Mr. Michael D'Souza. Sansia Pereira. Anexa D'Souza. Aruhi. Natasha Rao. Michael Monteiro. Navin Preto. Lisbel Pereira. Zevan Peters. Conrad Lobo. Cleta D'Souza and Deepak Riker. The following trophies are for students in recognition of their consistency, discipline, dedication and hard work. Eesha Fernandes. Sarah Abigail Fernandes. Valencia Fernandes. Leroy Monteiro. Greg D'Souza. Myron DeMello. Sam Pereira. And Ethan Fernandes.
I'm sure all of your stomachs are rumbling as much as mine is. Anyway, I'd like to say, after shaking so many hands, hot hands, cold hands, wet hands, dry hands, I'm in a position to be a little more confident now. Well done, Sir Emilio. Congratulations to you, your students, and the wonderful musicians that supported your debut program. It was indeed enjoyable. The soloists were, you can see, very nervous. And who wouldn't be nervous? Even I am nervous now at the moment. And the orchestral support was amazing. Be it a small or a big concert, it takes a lot of courage, guts, and effort to organize any concert. It requires commitment, dedication, attendance, individual as well as group rehearsals. You name it, we got to do it. And not everything turns out the way it does at rehearsals. When you put these little children on a big stage like this, and this is the first time they are appearing on the stage, obviously there's a big amount of nervousness, and all the teachers who are sitting in the audience, we know exactly how you all felt. We know exactly how you little ones felt. And great, you did a great job. It is holiday time, but still children are busy with tuitions, exams, wedding, feasts, etc. But they just yearn to play and perform on stage. And so the poor foolish teachers give in. Date and venue are set, rehearsals are on full swing, halfway milestone is reached, and then it happens. Students drop out due to sudden holiday plans or to study for some national tests or even because the rehearsals are boring. And usually the senior most do the disappearing trick. No problem, my friends. You gotta carry on with what you have, and hey, it gets pretty good, and you end up having a great show with whatever you have in hand. Strange as it may sound, participating in a choir or orchestra teaches you important lessons in life. First of all, obedience, whereas you obey and respect the composer who's maybe 200, 300 years old, but in this case, they were all modern composers. The conductor who tells you exactly what he wants you to do. Discipline and ability to function as a group. Above all, you enjoy the end product of a wonderful musical experience. Certainly, those who participated today will always treasure the memory of today's concert. To those who missed the opportunity for various reasons, I hope you have a next time. Coming to Sir Emilio, a very determined and quietly impressive young man who has quite surprised us with the volume of his arrangements for strings. Though he started in 2012 and has many more students, it is the later younger ones who stuck to the commitment they made to play for this concert. Emilio has single-handedly seen to every aspect of this endeavor, from hiring the hall to sound system to drafting the program notes, training these young players and to achieve a good standard, and most of all bolstering their courage to play on the stage. And he has fulfilled the dream of these students and their parents. This speaks volumes for his teaching capacity, his dedication, vision, and his guts. Parents, I very much appreciate your contribution to the success of this concert. I am sure that some of you had to travel long distances with the children for rehearsals, which has paid good dividends. I request you to remember that this is not just quantity, but quality of playing that also matters. Last but not the least, the MC did a wonderful job. And of course, you little children, I'm very happy to say that some of them who I've met earlier, like Leroy, has improved tremendously. Okay, and now, Sir Emilio, I look forward to you and your students performing many more enjoyable concerts. Once again, I congratulate Sir Emilio and all of you, not forgetting the strong support he had from Vasco, from Leo, from Akash, from Saina, and Jezrun, on whom he relied very heavily even for the sound system. So with this strong support, with your support, I'm so happy to see all of you waiting here, sitting here right till the very, very end. And I wish you all a very happy weekend. And I wish Emilio a good night's sleep finally after so many months. Please give them all a big hand.
I prayed to God a lot that I hope I have a smooth concert. Hope these people get the courage to play nicely. And my prayers were finally answered. Thank you, Jesus. A big thank you first to all the parents who have shown immense trust in me. There were times where I have taught them the same song for 2-3 months, and I'm sure the parents were wondering what are we paying for. But they didn't say a word to me, which helped me to concentrate on and focus on what I really wanted to achieve. To really train the students with various aspects of what they have to learn to play in the orchestra. I thank them for truly supporting me in whatever I wanted to do, whether it was odd times for practices. There were times when I used to say I'll finish at 6 and I used to send the children at 7, but the parents would be patiently waiting without saying anything. And even if I said sorry, they would just give a smile and say no problem. Thank you, parents. Next, I want to thank my friends Vasco, Sienna, Jeshron, Leo and Akash for agreeing to support my students in spite of their very busy schedules. And I mean it, they are really very busy. Their constant feedback during practices whether it is sound, whether the way the children are playing, their bowings, helping me in tuning. They were always there. Even if I didn't have to ask, Sienna always had a huge list of feedback for me, even Vasco. As teacher Anita said, Jashrun, I took up this concert the moment Jashrun said yes. Otherwise, I don't think I would have done it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jashrun. As far as Akash is concerned, I would like to thank teacher Goretti Pinero. Just less than a month before we had this concert here, I was short of one viola player. And I went around many places but just couldn't find. As they say, viola players are very rare species. And it is true in Goa also. So finally, teacher Goretti told me that her student Akash plays the viola. I knew him that he plays the violin. I've seen him a lot over here for the Kala Academy concerts. And I was happy that it's him because he's quite a good player. This concert wouldn't have been possible without Senzio Pereira. He's the guy who used to come and adjust the mics and the stands. But besides that, he was really the engine for our entire team. Whether designing the banners, printing them, going around, I just didn't have any tension. So I could just focus on taking up practices and the rest, everything he was doing. So I'm really indebted to Senzio and Jashrun also. Senzio helped me with the sound, with designing the certificates, printing them, the invitations, everything, even the program that you all are holding. Thank you, Senzio. A big thank you to Dr. Freddie Fernandes. He is the guest editor of Prime TV. He surprisingly one day called us. We had come to PANJIM for practices and we finished and my PANJIM students packed up. And as we were on our way back home, he gives me a call and he says, Emilio, where are you? Can you come with your students? Are your students with you? So I said, I have a few of them. So he said, whoever you have, just come to the Prime TV studio. So I went there and he did a small bite on, he made my students play. And he gave me a shock that I had to speak for 2 minutes. And the bigger tension for me was I had not shaved. So I was wondering what my mother would say because she keeps on yelling at me when she would see the video. And she did tell me that you didn't shave. So thank you, Dr. Freddy. He had asked me for a favor and I forgot about it because of these last few days of running around. I'm really sorry for that. How can I forget the MC Erilda? She has done a very good job. She's a good friend of mine and this is not the first time that she has helped me. Every time I have gone to her without any hesitation, she has just said yes. She's also very busy. She's doing her BBA right now. She is doing her internship and besides all of that, running around for her is to come to my place and help. Coming to my place is to help me save my time. Then we should discuss this entire thing. And then finally, she has done a good job today. Thank you, Erilda. Thanks to another friend of mine, Lavio, just like Senzio, he has been running around and doing all those odd jobs which would have really eaten up a lot of my time, like printing the trophies and things like that. Getting snacks for PANJIM practices, the drinks, even my brother helped me a lot. Thank you, Lavio. And I want to thank Lavio, Senzio and Silbert for helping me set up this stage last night. We were here from 11 till 3:30 in the morning. And then we drove all the way back to TV. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sir Adrian and Mr. Lobo for handling the entire videography and the photography. I didn't even speak a word with them. I just told Sir Adrian, sir, will you please take care of the photography and the video? And he said, don't worry. Thank you, Lobo. Thank you, Sir Adrian. Also, I would not like to forget Mr. D'Souza and Cletha D'Souza. They are part of my junior strings. They helped me transport the younger children for practices all the way from Thivi to PANJIM. Thank you guys. And finally, thank you to all, not finally. I would like to thank teacher Myra for coming here. She usually doesn't leave her home, and it's her old age, and I pestered her a lot by going to her house. I tried to convince her. Even teacher Anita told me don't go and irritate her, but then I had to because I wanted all my teachers here. And thank you, teacher Myra, for coming. And she has come all by herself, and I hope I can help her to go back home very comfortably. Finally, thank you to all my teachers, relatives and friends for coming here at this odd time. I couldn't get the venue in the evening, but finally it was to our advantage because setting up would have been a problem. We thought we would be able to set up within an hour, but it really took us 3-4 hours. And if I had to get this hall anytime in the afternoon or the evening slot, I would have been in trouble. We would have all had to come here and watch us set up this place instead of the concert. I would also like to thank my family, my father, my mother, my brother, sister-in-law, and also my nephew and nieces. Nephew and nieces because after a long day of work, they used to massage my feet. And my parents, my brother and sister-in-law, they took care of the entire household work so that for the past 4 months, I could really concentrate on this concert. I should not forget the staff at Kal Academy, especially Mrs. Rane from the administration section. The auditorium supervisors, Amar and Hussein, were very cooperative, and whatever I asked for, they just helped me or they gave me whatever I needed. Even Mr. Kamat today in the morning. And not forgetting the security guards who guarded all my equipment all night. And they also gave us company at night last night. Thank you. And my students. I'm always saying finally, but I'm forgetting things here. I would like to thank my students a lot because they have really bared through, like as I said, the kind of love that Father Lourdin gave me. The same kind of love I gave them. And maybe even worse. And there were lots of tears as well as smiles. And thankfully through all that, they gave a very good performance. Please give them a big hand. Thank you.
Sorry guys, I'm interfering in between. But first of all, Sir Emilio, I would like to thank you. You have done a good job. Your students, we can see the progress here. And in the behalf of parents, students, teachers, friends, colleagues, relations, all who are gathered here, we have a request. We want Sir Emilio to perform one song for us. Emilio.
I should have not called you on top of it.
was indeed beautiful. Is this a happy ending of this dream? Or is it a beautiful beginning? It is definitely a beautiful beginning to the journey of First Note Foundation, which has many more spectacular plans lined up in the near future. Today's concert presented by these students is a proof of what First Note Foundation can offer. We hope our budding musicians have thrilled you and struck a chord in your hearts. We are grateful and overwhelmed with the love that you all have shown towards us today. First Note Foundation will continue to work hard to create an army of good, ethical musicians who will contribute good values and mesmerizing musical performances to our society. Here's looking forward to your support and motivation in the future. As we close this beautiful morning, we would like to thank each one of you for being a part in making this such an epic concert. Have a lovely weekend ahead.